But welcome everybody to the August edition of the Ward 5 Neighborhood Planning Assembly. Thank you all for being here. My name is Nate. I'm one of the steering committee members for the Ward 5 Neighborhood Planning Assembly. I'm also joined by Laura and Anya and Gary and Fareed, and we're your local Ward 5 steering committee. Just kind of as an introduction to the Neighborhood Planning Assembly, we're the main kind of neighborhood level civic engagement group that exists within the city. So we are really kind of one of the only existing groups that's focused on these South End specific issues that exist within the city government. So, but we're all neighbors, we're all volunteers. We have like a kind of amorphous purview, and we're trying to figure out the best way that we can serve the community. So sometimes these are just regular meetings where we have presentations from legislators. We're joined by one tonight, not as a presentation, just as a member. City councilors, city officials, local community groups, and the steering committee were responsible for putting these together. So it's an interesting group, but we are interested in trying to do some different dynamic stuff with it. And one of them that is kind of within our purview, and I'll introduce the activity, and then after that I'll introduce public forum, where that's just an opportunity for anybody that would like to share really kind of anything. We'll start with South End residents when we get there, but anybody is welcome to the public forum. But the activity is this idea around community budgeting, and the Neighborhood Planning Assembly has a very small budget, but a real budget, and we pay for things like these community barbecues, our new banner. We've done sponsorships of small community projects, and really the legacy has changed over time. And since we've been bestowed with this mighty $3,000 budget, we really want to make sure that, as we do spend it, we're getting some kind of input from the neighborhood. And since Oakledge is part of our neighborhood, we figured this is a place to kind of collect some folks that maybe wouldn't attend otherwise in one of our other meetings. So really, we're just looking for some input from you all so that we have some guiding. It's not a binding idea. We just want to get some thoughts on what you all would like to see. So there's 4 categories over there, and feel free to just stop by with a sticky note, 1 or 2. If you see one that you like, you can star someone's, whatever kind of ideas you have. But that's it. That's really our whole thing. Enjoy the meal. Thank you, Fareed, from People's Kitchen for... one of many community meals served by Fareed in the People's Kitchen. So always good to support him today and in the future. So that's all. That's all for me. We have our one budget agenda item, which is public forum here. So the floor is open. If anybody would like to say anything in public forum, now is the time. I can add in one item and just say that, hi, I'm Nate, Ward 5 resident. If you all are looking for something to do on Saturday, there's a waterfront cleanup happening starting at A-Dog Skate Park at 10, and then just fanning out through the Urban Reserve. And that's just another volunteer-driven effort. I think there's going to be some really good turnout, and I think hopefully we can make some good progress. So that's on Saturday at 10, and you can find more info at volunteerbtv.org. It's a website that I run. That's all. Would anybody else like to speak in public forum? If not, we can wrap it up and just get on. Yeah? Come on up. Yeah, just introduce yourself, where you live. And
Hey everyone, my name is Ari Moskowitz. I live right over here actually, about 1,000 feet away from here. I moved here 11 years ago with my wife, and I have 2 children here, and I'm a business owner, and my wife's a dermatologist. And some of you may have heard me in the news. The mayor had me arrested for merely trying to have a conversation with her. The mayor's security guard. Do you have a time? What's the max time usually around? 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Okay. The mayor's security guard. I gave multiple speeches in City Hall, and the mayor's security guard targeted me in a horrible anti-Semitic way, started sending me messages, why am I coming to City Hall when I could be killing brown kids myself, because that's my birthright. And I tried to do it the regular way, filled out paperwork, tried to speak with public officials, and they refused to speak to me. And it took 10 months for Jessica Brown, our attorney, to get back to me and offering her an apology. The mayor still refused to speak to me. Actually, the last time I was at NPA 5 ward meeting, really just went up to her. I said, "Hey, Mayor, I'm willing to move past this if I'm willing to actually sign a document saying that I won't sue the city if you just apologize." And a Palestinian activist decided to insert himself between me and the mayor, and she claimed that I blocked her door and stalked her by starting a social media page. And this is utterly false. My social media page is called Truth in Vermont, where I've had millions of views in the past few months alone. And I'm here because I really love Burlington. I came here as an addict 11 years ago and to recover. And I'm seeing what's happening downtown it pains me. It pains me deeply because I was there 11 years ago and a person was stabbed and it took 15 hours for the Burlington police to notify the public. And there's a very, very well-known politician's family member who passed away, and the Burlington police, the mayor, everyone's covering it up now. And I think I'm going to run for mayor, even though I'm not politically identified with one party or another. And I'm a Zionist, which is a big no-no in Burlington because Zionism means merely just supporting the state of Israel. That's a big no-no, and that's why I was discriminated against. And I have no fear, really. I have no fear to speak up, and I encourage everyone to speak up and talk about the issues downtown because there's a big problem here about people unwilling to speak up because of fear of retaliation. So thank you so much for having me and appreciate it. Oh, sure.
My apologies. Thank you, Mari. And would anybody else like to speak during our public forum section? Yeah, well, come on up. Yeah, just introduce yourself and which ward you live in, and floor is yours, about 3 minutes.
Sure. So my name is Greg. I live in Ward 5. I live about 2,000 feet away. And I appreciate everything that people with the Ward 5 have done. I've been in a number of commissions for the city of Burlington, the Airport Commission and the Redistricting Commission. I agree with Ari, is that your first name? Agree with Ari that safety is important. So a couple of things that concern me about safety is the bike path and the idea that there are a lot of uses of that bike path that may impact safety. It's hard to sort of say what that is, but I just know that speeding on high sort of fast bicycles may not be the best way for safety, and I don't know how to regulate that, but I know that it's best to get ahead of the curve on it, and some areas are trying to do that, and I would encourage, since the bike path sort of starts here, I would encourage us in Ward 5 to send a message to the City Council concerning that. I think that's one of the purposes of the different wards, is to try to provide some input from the grassroots to City Council. Obviously, they have the power to make that decision. The other thing that I'm wondering about is what's happening at Burton. I remember a few years ago, it seemed like the whole idea of higher ground, and I've been to higher ground. I like music. I'm not opposed to that, but the whole idea of a higher ground music venue near a one-lane bridge just didn't seem to make a lot of sense. But it was just quickly agreed upon that it was okay. And I don't know what the Planning Commission, by its name, Planning Commission, it sounds like it is focused on planning. And I don't know what their role was in terms of that and what their role is now. And I don't know what's going on at Burton now. And again, I'm not opposed to Burton. My wife worked at Burton. And she recently passed away, but she was concerned about that situation also. So those are the two things that I'm concerned about, is the bike path and what's happening at Burton in terms of traffic safety.
Thank you, Greg. All right, would anybody else like to participate? Welcome.
Thank you. My name is Bram Klepner. I live in Ward 6 and represent Wards 5 and 6 in the legislature. And I am noticing that having this monthly meeting in a park with a barbecue draws a different group than in the small conference room in the Public Works Department building. And I just wanted to introduce myself, since there are some people who I don't believe I have seen before, and say that I'm happy to talk about any of the many issues that you may be concerned about that the state is grappling with, from public safety to housing and education and climate change and all the stuff. So I'm happy to talk to anyone who'd like to talk.
Thank you. Anybody else for public forum? Fareed.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for coming. My name is Fareed. I live in the Five Sisters. I'm also a volunteer for a electoral project called Proposition Zero. The goal of this project is to bring direct democracy to Burlington. If you're not familiar with direct democracy, the idea is that voters should be able to propose ballot questions for the whole town, like to be voted on. And this is kind of like a cherished tradition in Vermont, the grassroots decision making, and other towns have it except for Burlington. In Burlington, we only have advisory question that we could petition, and even then, that's up to the city council whether or not to put it on the ballot. So what we're trying to do is we want to bring what everybody else in Vermont has, which is initiative. That's when we want to put a proposal for an ordinance, for a law to be enacted, a referendum, which is a repeal of existing law or existing decision by the city council, and also the advisory question that city council can't block, which is, I think, is the democratic rights for every community. So there is, we need to get to 2,000 petition signatures to get on the March ballot, and we're also looking for volunteers who can help us collect signatures at the November election. We are, I believe, at like 1,200, so we need like 800 more signatures. So if you haven't signed it, please consider signing it, and if you are available to volunteer on election day, let me know, because we could really use the help. Thank you.
Thank you, Fareed. Anybody else for public forum? Oh, here's the clipboard. If anybody did you want it? Yeah. There you go. And if you have joined us since I did the introduction, welcome. Thank you for coming from the Bocce League. We're glad to have you. We're just doing a community budgeting activity, so we got some categories over here. Feel free, as you have ideas on what you'd like to see with our little bit of money. Just feel free to put ideas up as at your leisure. But that's all. That's our whole scheduled program for the night. We have the space until 9, so no rush to get you all out of here. Please enjoy company, participate. We'd love if you participate. Otherwise, we'll just spend our money willy-nilly. Just kidding. So that's all. We'll probably have a meeting next month, and where we will share some of the results of what we are hoping to do tonight. So thank you. Our meetings are the third Thursday of every month, typically at the DPW conference building. Thank you, Barbara. Yeah, Carolyn.
Susan, I just wanted to know that if we come up with an idea past tonight,
Yeah.
that we can write someone and give them our ideas.
Yeah, hopefully. So that's kind of.
What do you know what some of the things are that this neighborhood has done in the past?
We do. I can just add in that this is kind of it's a little bit of a follow-up to an activity that was done in 2024, where we've did a similar thing. It was called the Neighborhood Doing Assembly, and really trying to figure out how can we do things with this body. The categories up here kind of break it down into like things that we can realistically do within our budget, but also things that would need higher elevation. Yeah. Oh, well, I can read them to here. It is people-powered projects, ideas within our $3,000 budget, fun, connection, and friends, and dream big if we had magic. So those are kind of our different ideas, things that are free, things that cost a little bit of money, and things that cost a lot of money. That's all. I don't have to say anything else. Oh. Yeah, I guess. Well, I think we didn't warn the election. Yeah. Yeah, I guess it's an open invite. If anybody is a Ward 5 resident and would like to join the steering committee, that's always a possibility. We're below our capacity, so that's always an open invite to any folks. But even if it's not tonight, you can think about it. You just need someone to nominate you, and that's all. And if you don't live in this ward, check out your local ward. It's probably a free meal, too. Yeah. Well, that's all. That's all for me. Thank you, everybody. Yeah.